Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host, Jamie. And if you haven't yet, and you like watching my videos or listening to my videos, press the subscribe button, or if you're on Spotify, press the follow button, whatever possible thing that you can do. I am drinking the rest of my coffee right now. It has a bunch of hair connected to it because fortunately, because I love my kitty cats. I share my podcast room with my cats. So this is the cat / podcast / office for my boyfriend when he works from home. I'm so happy that you're here and I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you so much for watching. I literally was just like sitting on the couch for like 20 minutes before filming because I was like on Snapchat, and then I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this influencer. She's like she's from Florida. Well, I don't know if she's from Florida. She lives in Florida, and she just always has so much drama, and I love to like watch drama. Like I don't have drama in my life, so I always just like watch. I love reality shows, and then like this girl, Kristen Whitman, I don't know if you've heard of her, but her and her friend group always have so much drama that it's actually insane. And so like that's the only reason I don't even think I follow her on TikTok, but I watch her TikToks, and then I follow her on Snapchat because that's where like all the drama's going down all the time. And so my God, I was just going through her Snapchats, and it's actually so concerning, guys. Like, genuinely, I think that in order to vote, everyone in America needs to take a class and like on politics and the government, and then pass a test. And once you pass that test, you can register to vote, because I don't really believe, sorry, I'm checking to make sure my mic is working. I don't really talk about politics, okay? But I feel like from what I say, you can kind of tell where I stand with politics. And I don't really I don't know if this is going to sound bad to say, but everyone's always like, oh, if you can vote, go vote. But like for me, it's like, no, don't actually. If you're just going to vote just to vote, just please at least read one paragraph before going to vote about literally anything. Like, for the love of God, because people, I swear, are just so genuinely uneducated. And I'm not even saying that I'm the most educated person, because I'm really not. Like, I don't watch a lot of news, but I do try to, look into policies and the actual, like, facts of each candidate, and I try to make my decision based on that. And not only that, but also their character, because I think that's a lot of things combined for someone to take on the role of being a president. And I think that policies and character both go into it. So I just feel like it's so scary that some people are just out here like so uneducated. Their main news stream is TikTok or Fox News, because that's like what their parents have on every day or something. Like, and Fox News literally isn't even a news source. Like, it's literally not real. It's just they're talking about random dumb shit. And I'm sorry, I don't want to get too political, but the girl I'm talking about, it was on Snapchat being so crazy, like talking about politics and stuff. And she's like known to be very, very homophobic, honestly. Transphobic, homophobic, like everything phobic. And constantly saying that like everyone in our generation thinks that they are cats and dogs, and like they just decide to be a woman on a random Tuesday. But she's like out here on this Snapchat story spelling all these words wrong, like using the word chose instead of choose, spelling woman as like women, like as a group of women and not just like woman, the wrong than and then. She doesn't even know grammar, and she's like talking about politics, and it's like, please, like, you just don't look very smart right now. And it's very scary to me that these types of people can vote. And yeah, I don't even know what she said, but she was like, what? I need to go look honestly at her story and read one of the crazy things that she said. First of all, she's like, if you're voting for Krusty Coochie, unfollow me. And it's just like so funny when people genuinely think they know something and they just don't. It's so scary. And I just really want to find this dumb ass stuff that she's saying. But she said, someone said, there's so many reasons women get/need abortions. This statement is so ignorant. And she said, you're correct. And those reasons I support, such as SA, grape, health issues. But our generations literally believe they are cats and that you can be a woman on a random Tuesday. They just want to cause an argument. You feel me? And then someone said, oh my gosh, I cannot actually. Here we are. Okay, someone said, on a different topic, which this isn't really different because she was already touching on this. How do you feel about the LGBT community? And she said, I love the LGB community. Wait, she also said something else that was so dumb. Ugh, fuck. I wish I could find it. I wonder if she deleted it. And I just can't. Like, I just can't. She's, like, so crazy and hateful. And it's, like, so sad to see that people can be so hateful based on no education whatsoever. Other than, like, their peers. Because I just saw this clip of her on TikTok, and it was, like, on a live, and she's, like, asking what a recession is. She's like, what's a recession? Like, what does that mean? Is that, like, inflation? Is that the depression? And I'm like, girl, oh, I don't know when that was from, but Lord only knows. If you are that uneducated, you should not be going to vote. Please make the nearest U-turn and go back home, because that kind of scares me. Anyways, I didn't want to get, like, political, but when people are so hateful, like, it bothers me so much. And she was talking about a lot of, like, abortion stuff, which I'm very passionate about, because, well, first of all, I'm pro-choice, and I think that women should have autonomy over their bodies, because why shouldn't they? Like, there's literally not a single reason they shouldn't. And then not only that, but, like, there's plenty of reasons other than just, like, accidentally getting pregnant that you would need an abortion. Like, as she mentioned, which thank God she's educated about, but, like, SA, health issues, like, a lot of health issues can lead to you needing an abortion. And my mom, when I wasn't born yet, but my sister was born, and this was before me or my brother were born. And my mom actually had an ectopic pregnancy, which she had an egg basically stuck on her fallopian tube, and she nearly died. And it's very, very dangerous, and you can die very easily. Like, she was literally so close to death, and she had to get an abortion to remove that from her fallopian tube. And if it were now, like, and it's crazy how much things have changed, but in some states, like, she probably would have died, because some states require you to actually be almost dead before you get treatment for that, and that's just crazy to me. So I'm really passionate about that. But not even just that. Like, I just think that you should be able to control your own body. And people are just so crazy thinking that, like, there's millions of abortions every day, that people are on the 9th month of their pregnancy and they're choosing to get an abortion. Like, no, that's not what's happening. Okay, anyways, sorry. I don't want to be crazy, and I really don't talk about politics a lot, but there are just a couple things that I'm very passionate about when it comes to politics. And being like a hateful person is one of them. It just rubs me so the wrong way, and like it's genuinely so hard to believe that like human beings with empathy can be that way. I mean, maybe they don't have empathy. Maybe they're sociopaths, but I would like to believe that most human beings are born with empathy. The way that the world just, everyone is fighting, everyone is so divided. I feel like it's never been so divided before. And it's really sad. But obviously, like, yeah. I'm not like a very big politics person. But sometimes things just piss me off. And it's just so confusing as to why people feel the need to say things and go on Snapchat and make public service announcements about them hating a certain group of people. Like, that's just so crazy to me. And I feel bad for those people, because what's going on in your miserable life that you feel the need to bring a large group of people down, you know? Okay. Anyways, after that rant, we have an episode to film, so let's get on. I don't really have anything else to say, I don't think. Let me know what you guys have been up to today. And let me know if you are drinking or eating something. Let me know what you're eating or drinking. Because, also, me and Jack are going to see the movie We Live in Time tonight, because I can't. Their marketing campaigns are good, because I'm literally seeing them on every other freaking ad on social media. Like, they're everywhere. So I'm like, and I also love Florence Pugh and Andrew, what's his name? I don't even know what his name is. Andrew something? Or, I don't know. But he's Spider-Man. And I really liked him as Spider-Man. I didn't think I would like him before I watched it, but then when I watched it, I really liked him as Spider-Man. But I like them two together, like all the ads that I've seen of them together and interacting. They're very, like, I love them. They're very cute, cutesy, and so I can't wait to see that. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Okay. Anyways, here is the first story. The title is, I had a baby as a result of an affair, and now his wife is reaching out to me. I, female 26, had an affair with a married man, male 42, a few years ago. I had no clue he was married when we first met and hooked up. I obviously looked him up on social media, and while he did have photos of his kids on there was absolutely no mention or photos of a wife at all. I found out that he was married about a month after we first got together, but he told me it was just a marriage on paper and that they basically lived separate lives and agreed to remain married for practical purposes until the kids were older. They owned a business which she really ran and he was just financially involved in. I knew at the time that I probably shouldn't believe him, but I convinced myself that it was true. I was in my early 20s and so attracted to him, and I guess almost infatuated with him. He made me feel so good. I know now that I should have ended it immediately, but I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I was addicted to all of the attention he gave me, the great sex, the places he'd take me. I felt special. I was so naive. I got pregnant about a year into seeing him. I had always been so careful with preventing pregnancy, but during my relationship with him, I took stupid risks. I was so high in lust with this guy, it's embarrassing. The things he'd ask me to do, I'd say yes to almost anything. Even then, I knew it was a bad idea. I was in love with him, or I thought I was. I hadn't intentionally wanted to get pregnant. I would, of course, dream about being his wife and having a family, but I knew that wouldn't be a possibility when he had this arrangement with his actual wife. I didn't get pregnant on purpose with any intention of him leaving her for me. Even if I wished that we could be real, normal couple, I was surprised by how excited I was to be pregnant with his baby. I wanted that baby once I found out I was pregnant. The thought of carrying this baby of the man I loved was so special to me, but I knew he probably wouldn't feel the same. I told him that I was pregnant, and he told me I couldn't keep the baby. I expected his reaction, but I was devastated, and it hurt me to my core that he didn't feel the same way that I did. He offered to pay to make a whole weekend of it somewhere exciting, what the F, and to buy me something special if I just please get rid of the baby. He explained that he didn't want any more kids and that he couldn't openly be a father to another kid when he and his wife were still pretending to be happily married to the outside world. I agreed to do what he wanted, and we made plans for him to pick me up and find somewhere out of town to go get it done. I was all packed up the night he was going to pick me up, but I started to feel really scared and really unsafe about the whole thing. I took my bag and checked myself into a hotel to hide because I couldn't go with him. I texted him to say I promised to never contact him again and to never name him as a father or go after child support if he'd promised to leave me alone. At first, he tried to sweet talk me into doing what he wanted. When I didn't cave in, he said some very nasty things to me and that I essentially better never contact him again or show up at his door. I have a 2-year-old now. At times, it's been difficult, but overall, we are thriving as best as we can. I have kept my word about not naming him as the father or requesting child support. His wife contacted me on social media. Well, she's his ex-wife now. She wants to talk to me. She found out about me and told me that she divorced him 6 months ago. She wants her children to know their sibling and for my child to know his siblings. That's weird to me. I haven't responded back to her yet. I'm unsure about how to approach this. How do I respond to this? I wonder if I'm being selfish by not exploring an option for my child to know his siblings, if she's being genuine about that. If I was married and my husband fathered a child outside of our marriage, I don't think I'd feel the same that she does. Well, I'm really glad that she didn't end up going through with the abortion because obviously I feel like if it's not, I mean, this is very on par to what I was literally just talking about, but if you, what? Who was that? I just heard a weird noise from an animal. If you genuinely want to keep the child, no one can tell you otherwise. So you definitely should never let a man convince you to get an abortion. But I'm glad that you decided not to. It's so, like, I want to know why, I wonder why she felt so, like, in danger. Because like, that's very interesting to me. And then she, like, hid in a hotel room. Like, was he dangerous? Like, if she went with him and then was like, no, I don't want to get an abortion, would he have, like, done something to her? Like, that's kind of crazy to think about. But I'm really glad that was, like, the end of their relationship. If that was the case, if it would have, like, turned out to be a true crime episode or something. But I definitely think at least what I would do, I would want my kid to have a relationship with their siblings as well. Like, I wouldn't force it, but if the wife were reaching out to me wanting that for her kids, then I would definitely agree, and I would want that for my kids as well, because, I mean, that would be great. I don't see an issue with that at all. And I'm sure that, like, she's probably over it. If he was really telling the truth and they were really, like, separate but still, like, legally married, I'm assuming that she's been over it for a while because she's probably grieved the relationship years prior to when they even got divorced. So you might think that you wouldn't feel the same, but I think if you were in her position and you were in probably, I'm assuming, a shitty marriage because they got divorced and you had years to grieve it before you even actually legally got divorced, I think that you would probably feel the same, but you just don't know that because that isn't your human experience. But let's see what people are saying in the comments. Okay. Someone said, OP, are you sure this is truly his ex-wife contacting you? Could it be him using her account or fake account to initiate contact with you for some twisted reason? Please be careful and make wise decisions if when agreeing to meet this woman and her kids. I know you want to do the right thing. Just be very careful. Yeah, I think that is going without being, what is that? Why am I not knowing? I never know. You guys literally know. I never know what I'm saying. But that goes without saying. That's what I mean. Obviously, be careful. And if you're just talking on Instagram, like, maybe talk on the phone, see if it's a woman's voice, and then meet at, like, Starbucks or something. I don't know. Or meet in, like, a little community area, like a downtown area or something where it's busy. Because, what, is he gonna, like, kill you in front of everyone? No, probably not. But, okay, let's see. I'm sorry. OP commented, technically no, I have no way to know that it's actually her at this point. And then someone commented a link, and it says, this has court docs from all over the country. Search his name and state and see what comes up. Oh my gosh. Wait, somebody, please. I want her to comment back and say she looked it up. But yeah, I mean, isn't divorce, if you file divorce, it's public record, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's see. Why would he tell his wife he cheated and got you pregnant, especially if he got away with it? He doesn't strike me as the type to feel like just being honest. Something sounds off about this. If he could lie to you about his wife so easily, he will lie and sneak without conscience. Be careful. I don't know any of you from a hole in the wall, but my gut doesn't feel right after reading that. Do you have any support, any family or friends? Okay, I'm going to go to her account right now, and I'm going to look and see if she has any more posts. Oh my god. Hey. Update. I had a baby as a result of an affair, and the man's wife is contacting me. I made a post 3 weeks ago, and things have only gotten stranger. I had an affair with a married man a few years ago. I regret it, and I will never do anything like that ever again. I knew it was wrong from the very beginning, but he captivated me. I was naive. I allowed myself to believe when he told me they were pretty much just married on paper for the sake of their kids. I got pregnant, and while he tried to talk me into getting an abortion, I ultimately decided to keep the baby. I have a 2-year-old little boy now. I promised this man that I wouldn't expose our affair, and I wouldn't formally identify him as the father or request child support. I did that because he was becoming very nasty about the whole thing, and I felt like, due to the mess that I had created and the way I felt by the end of it, a clean break with no involvement with him would be the best thing for everyone. I moved back to where my family is, hundreds of miles from where he and his family live. About a month ago, his ex-wife reached out to me via social media, claiming they had been divorced for 6 months and that she wanted our children to be able to know each other. Now their kids are teenagers, so I don't really think they'd want anything to do with the toddler and the woman their father was having an affair with. It seemed odd to me. After posting here, I sort of decided that I wouldn't respond to her. I'd just ignore it. She just sent me the one message, so it wasn't as if she was badgering me about talking to me or meeting me. On Friday night, I decided to message her. I don't really know why. I think it was really just for my sake, so I could have the chance to apologize to her. I told her that I would be more comfortable speaking with her face-to-face since I couldn't trust that it was really her. She said she understood. I was too nervous to meet her in person, but we did a video chat. I didn't really know what to expect, if this was all a ploy just to unleash her fury on me or what. I mean, I deserve that. She wouldn't be wrong to feel that way. It was really her. She told me she discovered our affair when she found communications between the two of us after our relationship had ended. She told me I'm one of the many women he had affairs with over the years, and she knew about somebody even before he met me, but she didn't divorce him at the time. Finding out about my child was the final straw for her. I told her I was sorry for my relationship with her husband and admitted that I knew he was married. She graciously told me she forgives me and that, while she harbored a lot of anger towards me initially, she ultimately blames her husband. I'm not blameless, but she chooses to not hate me, essentially. She said she couldn't have said this 6 months ago or a year ago when she first found out about me, but she has moved past that. She still has anger towards him, in addition to many other emotions surrounding him. She started pouring out her heart to me about their 20-plus year marriage and life together, and it was very awkward because what do I even say? Her kids know about me and my son. She says they're very mad at their father. Somehow, I don't think they're mad about the fact that he's not involved with my son's life, and why would they be mad about that? I would hate me if I were them. I told her, with my son being so little right now, I don't really feel comfortable with him meeting her kids or being involved with their family. I feel unsure about it, and it's just not something I feel needs to happen right now. Then she told me her ex-husband was in a bad accident 2 months ago. He's fine now, still not allowed to return to his normal activities just yet, but he will be fine. He is probably the most physically active person I've ever met. He barely ever seems to sit down, so he must be terribly annoying to be around if he's not allowed to go all the time. She told me he wants to meet my son. Apparently she moved She moved back in with him temporarily when he first came home from the hospital. She said the accident really shook him up, and he has been expressing a lot of regret about my son, not being involved and not providing for him. So now it's like, was everything she said just a lie, and he somehow got her to reach out to me on his behalf, and she actually did it? It felt almost like a relief talking to her initially, but then it's like, was any of that true, or you were just trying to be his messenger? I don't even know if that part is true now. Why wouldn't he just contact me himself? I'm just feeling so uneasy about the whole thing now. What the fuck? Okay. Guys, I don't know. We might be in for a wild ride, but we might not be. But girl, let's read this. Wait, I'm gonna finish my coffee. Ew. That was honestly gross. That last sip of coffee, it was like water. Okay. Let's see. Update 2. I had a baby as a result of an affair, and the man's wife is contacting me. I posted about this a few months ago. To summarize very quickly, when I was fresh out of college, I had an affair with a married man and father. I became pregnant. He wanted me to get an abortion. He had arranged to take me away in a vacation to get an abortion. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I agreed to go along with what he wanted. At the last minute, when he was on his way to come pick me up, I told him I couldn't go through with the abortion. I just really didn't feel comfortable about his plan and how he was orchestrating everything. It scared me. I realized at that time how deep I had gone with this mistake, how screwed up the whole relationship was. He was really mad. He threatened me, said a lot of nasty things to me. I told him if he just left me alone and let me have my baby, then I'd leave him alone and wouldn't name him as the father or seek child support. I moved back home. I was living in a different state when I met him. I kept my word, and I didn't name him as the father or seek to establish paternity. I've never sought child support. My child is 2 now. A few months ago, his wife contacted me via social media. At first, she made it seem like she wanted my child to have the opportunity to know his siblings. It was sort of weird since the siblings are teenagers. She said she had divorced him 6 months prior. I agreed to talk to her virtually, not in person. I felt that I owed it to her to apologize for what I had done. I do feel bad about it, but at the end of the conversation, I told her that I didn't feel it was the appropriate time to connect my son with her kids. He's a toddler, and they're teens, plus I had promised her husband to stay out of his life. That's when she told me that he was recently in a bad accident, and she had been helping to take care of him. Supposedly he was going to be fine and was fairly recovered at that point, but she said he had expressed interest to meet our child, so she was basically his messenger. I've not been in contact with her since then. I deleted my social media. I don't know why, but the whole thing just really made me uncomfortable. Since I last posted here, then I received a handwritten letter from him. In it, he expressed how he wanted to get to know our son. He wants to be a father to our son. He wants to provide financially for him. He'd like us to come visit him. He asked me to sign a paternity affidavit. I refused to do so. I know he is my son's father, but I'm not going to make this that easy for him. After the things he said to me and threatened me with, he at least has to work for this. At that point, my parents felt that we needed to meet with a lawyer. All communication from me has gone through a lawyer. I have never responded to him personally or directly. Now, I have a court order for paternity. I have to present my son to have a specimen taken tomorrow. I already know what it's going to say. It's not that I don't want my son to have a dad in his life. It's just the whole situation is a mess, and he lives in a few states away from me. I don't know what to do. I can't really do anything. He's doing things legally. Next, I'm sure he'll petition for some form of custody or visitation. He's not married anymore, supposedly, but he's a lot more established than I am. He has considerably more financial resources. I also know he has all sorts of connections where he lives. Luckily, they don't hold as much weight here in my state, but it's still so scary to me. I'm a bad mom. I brought my son into this world knowing it was a messy situation. I just got so comfortable with it, just being the two of us, and now I don't want to give that up. You are not a bad mom, girl. What? You wanted your son, so you kept him. And it's really not being a bad mom at all. Okay. Thank God this girl was... I'm like getting annoyed that she keeps rehashing the story because it's like I just read that 2 minutes ago. I don't need to read it again. But finally in this update, this is the third... No. Yeah, this is the third update. Okay. Another update on how stupid I am, or I had a baby as a result of an affair, and now his wife is reaching out to me. Oh my God. I won't rehash the whole thing here. My previous posts are on my profile. Okay, she rehashes it though. Oh my gosh, I'm not reading that. Without any warning, he just showed up at my home last weekend. Just knocked on the door like it was nothing. Basically, this is his son, and he doesn't want to wait another 6 weeks for the court to inevitably order us into some sort of custody mediation anyway. His words. Why can't I just talk to him? I told him he made me uncomfortable, and him just showing up at my house really made me uncomfortable. Honestly, I don't know what made me so uncomfortable. The fact that he showed up unannounced like that, or the fact that I instantly felt the same attraction to him that I had when I was with him, and I didn't want to feel that at all. And some weird part of me felt happy to see him, and then another part of me was disgusted that I was happy. He said he doesn't understand why we can't just talk about this. He's not trying to take my son away from me. He just wants to be involved in his life and to help provide for him like he should have been all along. He's sorry he wasn't there when he was born. He's sorry he reacted the way he did when I didn't go along with his plans to take me on an abortion vacation. Why can't I just believe that he wants to be a dad to his kid? I guess I agree with him. Why can't I just accept that he has had a change of heart? I can't trust myself. I can't trust my own judgment. I feel like I easily let him into my son's life. I'm going to end up regretting it and be made a fool of myself somehow. I've already made so many mistakes when it comes to him. He says it's stupid of me to not try to work it out amongst ourselves first. I'm giving so much control to the court. I don't know whether to believe that or to think it's just his way of convincing me to do what he wants. I know he will get some sort of visitation and eventual custody. Maybe it would be better if we tried to come on an agreement. But he had the ability to sway me so easily. I'm so stupid when it comes to him. Nobody else has ever made me feel so foolish in my life. I want my son to have a dad. I admit it's probably selfish of me to want to keep him away. I just keep imagining having to spend weeks or months apart from my child while he's living with his dad 12 hours away, and I can't stand the thought of it. I'm just feeling sad, stupid, and defeated. I understand, girl, but I don't think that you should be feeling stupid. I understand that it's, hard, but at the end of the day, this sounds like it's going to be the best thing for the child. As long as this guy is truly, meaning it. But, oh my gosh, I'm actually dead. Okay, this is update 4. Update 4, I had a baby as the result of an affair, updated custody, and my sad, jealous mommy heart. Since everyone got mad at me for posting a recap of my situation in my previous posts, I won't even go there. If you're interested in the backstory, you can read my previous posts. All I will say is that I have a 3-year-old son who was conceived with an affair I had with a married man. After initially... Girl! You just said that you weren't going to rehash it. You can't stop rehashing. She keeps saying, I won't rehash it. But then she keeps rehashing it. Fucking stop, girl. We already know. We just read this 5 seconds ago. Oh my god. Okay. Let's start here. Since the last time I posted, we've recently had a mediation session, and he's met our son twice. At this time, he will have supervised visitation with me present. Because he lives states away, he is required to come here to see our son. It will not be on a weekly basis due to the travel. He will see him during 2 weeks of the month, 2 times each week, for a total of 4 visits a month, plus 2 video calls a month. This will last for 6 months. The next step will be for him to continue that schedule, but to have unsupervised visitation during which he cannot remove him from the area for another 6 months. After a year, we agree to have another mediation session to determine next steps with his goal, of being able to have my son at his home for short overnights. I'm not even ready to discuss that. He's already suggesting I can come for the first few times. I don't like the sound of it at all. We also have the option to request another mediation before 1 year, and something tells me that he's going to pull that. I also have an order for child support. While he is in agreement with paying child support, it will have to work through the court system before becoming official and for me to start getting the regular payment. He wrote me a large check in the meantime. I was hesitant to accept it. Not that I don't think my son deserves it, but now I'm just always worried I'll say or do the wrong thing legally, completely unknowingly, and shoot myself in the foot. Am I obligated myself and my son to anything by accepting this check? Can he somehow spin this against me? Of course, he was not in favor of the 6-month plan, and while he does understand that my son should not just go off with a stranger upon first meeting him, he wishes we could speed it along a little more. But 6 months was what we were able to agree on. He wanted to fly us both to where he lived, so he could spend a week or two getting to know our son, but I don't feel that's appropriate at this time. Perhaps in a few months or around the holidays, depending on how things are going, but it would be too much too soon. The initial 2 meetings went pretty much just as I thought they would. My son is extremely shy. He wanted to hide behind me most of the time. Then when he would venture out from behind me, as soon as his dad would say anything to him, he would scurry back behind me and just stare at his dad blankly without saying anything. He came out of his shell a little bit, however. He has still not said a single word to his dad. He just pretends like his dad isn't there and only talks to me. I will say that his dad is being patient and understanding as far as that goes. If he's frustrated, he's not showing it. He did suggest that maybe our son needs to get out more, go to daycare, more of even preschool, instead of spending so much time with me and my parents. He's very delighted with how much our son looks like him and how much he favors him over me. The one thing that did bother me is that I already told him I wanted to be very careful and mindful of how we informed our son, this little barely 3-year-old boy, that this man/complete stranger is his dad. He said, sure, yeah. Then at the first meeting, he introduced himself as dad. Since then, I've been trying to help my son understand. Like, you know how your grandpa is my dad? This guy is your dad. It's so surreal to me that any of this is happening. I feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for something to blow up in my face. Now it's just working on accepting our new reality. All of this change is hard and confusing for my son, and it's hard for me. Unless he really fucks up, I'm looking at eventually shared times with my son, spending school breaks and holidays at his dad's house, hours and hours away in another state. It won't happen tomorrow, but it will happen in the most likely reality. I just hope he stays committed. If he can be a good dad to my child, then my child deserves that, no matter how sad sharing him makes me. If he breaks my son's heart, that'll be another story, and I won't accept that so readily. Okay, that's literally that's so cute. I can just imagine, because little kids can be so shy sometimes, like hiding behind their mom. And I mean, obviously being the dad, like that would definitely break my heart, but like that's so cute. I can just imagine that. Like they're so little 3-year-old, like almost just turning 3. That's just such good age. I love that age so much. Oh my gosh. Like 1 to 6 is my favorite ages. And then I feel like by 7, like they start to grow up a lot. Like my niece, when I was growing up, I had my niece. No, my sister had my niece when I was like a sophomore in high school, I think, or maybe even a freshman. I don't know, but I literally was obsessed with my niece. Like we were so close. Obviously, like since I've moved away and stuff, we don't get to see each other as often, but like I used to almost be that baby's second parent. I literally would watch her all of the time. Honestly, so many times a night. Sometimes I would which I kind of feel bad thinking back on this, saying like that she's coming over too much to my sister, but I mean, I loved my niece to death, but then again, like I was a high school student and I still wanted to live my life because I did not have a child. And like I spent so much time with her, which I loved, but like, you know what I mean? It's like at the same time, I do want to have a life outside of babysitting my niece. But when I think back on that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad. But like also my niece needed to see her mom, be with her mom more. But I love thinking about when she was such a little cutie baby. She was so funny, and we would watch Coraline together all the time, and it was like her favorite movie. And she's like 2 years old watching Coraline, like obsessed with Coraline. We would have little tea parties. We memorized the song from Tangled where Flynn and Flynn? Or no, it's not, was it Tangled? I don't know. Or was it, I think it was Frozen. Flynn and Anna. And yeah. It's Frozen. But we literally remembered she was Anna and I was Flynn. Or why am I saying Flynn? I don't think his name was Flynn, but I can't remember this guy's name. And we would sing it together. And we finish each other's sandwiches. That's what I was gonna say. Mental organization. We literally would nail that song. I used to know every single word, and it was just so fun. We would do a little duet together. But she was so funny. Now she's like 12, which is so crazy to think about. But I think of her like as my literal stepchild, not my stepchild. My like half, no, I don't know. I think of her as like almost like my child because I like was with her so much growing up. And she is so big now, and like thinking about it when I was like her age and just, oh my God, so scared of the things that I used to do when I was 12. And like, I just pray to God that she's not doing those things, or if she is, that like she's gonna be growing up and gonna end up okay like I did, you know. Because I'm thinking about what I was doing when I was 12. How old are you when you're 12? 6th grade or 7th grade? I don't know. But all I know, in middle school, me and my friends were on Omegle like every night of our lives. That shouldn't be allowed, but I guess we were all just like unsupervised children, like me and my group of friends. So when we would go over to our friend's house, or like when they would come over to my house, we'd be on Omegle, or we would be Skyping the guys in the grade above us, and we would be showing them our boobs. What boobs? What boobs? Please tell me. The little ant pile on your chest? Yeah. Like, it's so scary. Okay, anyways, let's okay, let's read this next update. I had a baby as a result of an affair. Update 5. I think this is update 5, right? 3, 4. Yeah. This was 2 months ago. It's been 3 weeks since I last posted, and just over a month since our new visitation arrangement started. I've seen plenty of people here talking about how dumb I am. I don't really understand. What am I doing that's so dumb? I know it was dumb to have an ongoing year-long affair with a married man. It was stupid to put myself in that position where I could likely end up pregnant. That was in the past. What am I doing now that's stupid? I have a lawyer. Yes, I agreed to talk to his wife one time. How was I to know that she was just doing his bidding? Who would have thought that was the case? It's not even like I went to meet her in person somewhere. It was just a video call. I figured I at least owed her that one, just one time, and a chance to tell her I was sorry for what I did. But ultimately, it fell off, and I protected my son by telling her I didn't think it was appropriate at this time for me and my 2-year-old to travel to another state to meet her teenage kids. It's not as if talking to her opened the door for him to reach out to me. I was careful with that and what info I shared with her. It's not as if I told her my address. He didn't need to gather that info from me. He didn't need her to gather that info from me. Me talking to her isn't what prompted him to contact me directly and establish paternity. When he reached out to me directly about wanting to be involved with our son, I didn't reach out to him and decided to discuss things directly with him. I got a lawyer. When he showed up at my house, I didn't let him inside. I put my son in his room so he didn't eventually see our son or have access to him. I'm listening to my lawyer. I met with him in a mediation, and I'm trying to make careful decisions for my son. There's nothing I can do to prevent him from having access to our son. The court will grant him access if I fight it. At least this way, I have a say in the arrangement. We are supposed to be using a parenting app. Since the last time I posted, he's reached out to me outside of the app. Now, he keeps talking about us coming there to visit him. I have told him no, it's not appropriate. It's too much too soon. He's also already started talking about changing my son's last name to his, but maybe in a year or so. He tries to have personal conversations with me, not always about our son. I have to shut those down and referred him back to the parenting app. He thinks using the app is stupid and is only for people who can't get along. He thinks it would be better for our son if we got along and got to know each other again. He cares about me and what's going on in my life, or so he says. I also didn't cash the check that he gave me. I returned it. If he wants to help financially beyond the child support he's ordered to pay. He can purchase items that our son needs out of his own free will, but he isn't to give me cash or checks. My lawyer actually told me that there was nothing wrong with accepting and cashing the check. It wouldn't affect anything related to child support. But knowing him, he could be using this check as something he can bring up later in court, and I just didn't feel comfortable about it. Sure, I would have loved to have kept it. There are quite a few useful things I could have used that money for. Of course, he was upset when I returned the check via certified mail. His plan was foiled. I know he's trying to butter me up for something. I don't know precisely what, but I'm not that stupid that I don't see through him now. Well, he's probably trying to butter you up, girl, to move there or something and be closer to him so that he can have access to his shop. Someone is saying stop talking to him outside of the app. I don't understand why she doesn't just block him outside of the app. Simple solution. I mean, just don't respond. You don't have to block him. Put him on mute. Do not disturb that bitch and move on with your life and don't respond to him. Like, girl, you don't have to respond. What? Don't respond to him unless it's the parenting app. Like, literally, just refer. Every time he messages you, refer back. Like, send him the app. Send the link to the app every single time he messages you. Don't even respond. Okay, there's one more update, guys, and this is the last one. Ready? It's longish. So, I had a baby as a result of an affair, and not much has changed. Update 6. I'm not allowed to post more updates in True Off My Chest, so I'm posting this to my profile. Not sure if anyone will even see it. It's been 2 more months of this. 2 months of him sending me messages, half about our son, half about everything else. Despite the parenting app, he just can't seem to stick to it. Every other day I get a text directly from him. How's our son? Followed by, you good though? Do you need anything? He's also started sending packages for our son. The last one came a few days ago. A big box of toys, books, and clothes. At first, I didn't know what to think. Was this just another tactic? But then I looked at the stuff he sent. It was thoughtful, age-appropriate books, clothes that actually fit, and toys my son genuinely liked. It was clear he put effort into it, or the person he had go buy the stuff put effort into it. Hopefully not this poor ex-wife. For a moment, I could see him trying to be a father. A small part of me appreciated that. Still, I'm careful. I'm not letting my guard down. The good gestures are mixed with moments that make me feel uneasy. He mentioned again that maybe in a year or so, we should talk about changing my son's last name. I don't know why he keeps bringing it up. He acts like it's no big deal, like it's just something we'll agree on eventually. On the other hand, I can't deny that having him show up consistently with child support and gifts has taken some pressure off me. He's contributing in ways that actually help. My son seems happy with the things that he sent, and while I don't want to rely on it, it's nice to not worry about buying new clothes every month. The biggest challenge right now is finding balance. How do I acknowledge the good things he's doing without letting my guard down too much? How do I protect my son from getting hurt if he loses interest or starts pushing too hard again? I'm still following my lawyer's advice, still documenting everything, but the dynamic is changing, and I'm trying to keep up. For now, I'm taking things day by day. Some moments feel peaceful, like maybe this arrangement could work. Other moments, I feel the weight of what's coming. He'll keep pushing for more time, for overnights, for a bigger role. He thinks it's unfair if I don't let him spend more time with our son during the holidays. He was practically throwing a temper tantrum about it. If I won't go to him, then he can rent an Airbnb and we can stay together. What? Why would we do that? He'll see him in December during his regularly scheduled visit. So then he called me a narcissistic, paranoid parent who just wants our son all to myself, and that I'm psychologically damaging him by not forcing him to go 0-6 to 60 playing happy family with a complete stranger overnight. The thing is, he has a way of saying it that makes me start to believe it, and then I'm worrying if I'm really being that way. I don't know why he can't just act like a normal, patient, understanding adult person. I'm cooperating, and I know their level of contact and time will increase gradually. That's the key word, gradually. I'm not even trying to prevent that, but I just can't agree with his idea he has of just acting like he hasn't been completely uninvolved for almost 3 years. He's also trying to bribe me with money again. I'm not talking about the court-ordered child support and things like that. He asked me how much debt I had, and I wouldn't tell him. He kept pushing me to tell him because he had considered paying it off for me. Come on, let me help you. It's not help out of the kindness of his heart. He says there aren't strings attached, but I'm sure that there are. He'll expect something in return. Like, for me to agree to change our son's name and allow some sort of custody arrangement, I'm uncomfortable with. I do have a lot of debt that's a huge stressor on me. And yes, I've considered taking advantage of his offer, but not when I know my son is the price I have to pay. He told me he can find out how much debt I have if I don't tell him, and that he knows a lot more about me than I realize. I hope that's just him trying to intimidate me. It sounds like it's mostly just talk and something stupid that he would say. He is sounding more and more like his old self, though. So much for his accident really changing him for the better. He's really had me fooled at moments. At the end of the day, it's not money or fancy things that would go a long way with me. It's things like a genuine apology for threatening to kill me, little things little things like that which go completely ignored and swept under the rug, that would mean much more to me, but only if it was completely genuine. Girl, I'm kind of scared of this man. He definitely seems like a bit of a narcissist. She said in the comments, the best way I can describe it is that he bulldozes you with his money, his personality, etc. A very fast bulldozer too. The manipulation has happened before you notice it. This is probably the slowest I've known him to move on anything. I mean, damn. That was probably the most updates that we've gone through in one episode, honestly, I think. But, okay. I mean, that's a lot of information and a lot of kind of the same stuff. The updates didn't really change that much. But I just hope things go well. I think that I understand, I hate to say it, but I feel like a lot of dads are narcissistic. Sorry, not to be rude, but I've met plenty of them. And, yeah, a lot of them can definitely be narcissistic. I just think it's more common for them to be. And I understand, being nervous and stuff, but it does seem like I don't know what any underlying reason would be for him to want this much involvement in your kid's life. So I do think it's a good thing that he wants to be involved. I think not that you should let your guard down, but that maybe you should just, I think you're doing fine. You're doing fine. It's just, maybe just think of it in a more positive light, because you're going to have to accept this reality, and it's better to accept it than to fight it, and constantly just seeing it as a negative is definitely not helping. But there's not really much else to say, because, she said a lot. But let me know what you guys think. I'm glad that we actually had a long story with updates to read, because that's the first in a while that we've actually stop. If you're seeing the video, Frank is literally making me go through a struggle right now. But okay, we're gonna read the next story. I found something really effed up in my husband's phone. What should be my course of action? He's 25 male and I'm 22 female. It's only been a few months. We got married. We were dating for 2 years before. I was decluttering his gallery, and this is something he knows I do from time to time, because his gallery is full of useless pictures that he doesn't need anymore. So I do it to save space. We both have full access to each other's phones. Today I deleted something, and I didn't mean to, so I went to the trash folder to retrieve it. I'm so shaken, I don't know how to write this. My fingers are trembling. There were 2 nudes of 2 of my friends that were AI generated, meaning he probably uploaded their photo in some website that undresses you. Why is there even a website that does that? My blood went cold. I was stuttering and I couldn't breathe, and my heart is palpitating. I really, really loved him, and I saw no signs. I don't know what to do. Update. I confronted him. The audacity he had, you guys. Firstly, to those of you saying we have no boundaries, yes, we're clingy. No, he's never once said he has a problem with me going through his phone. This is normal for us. I wasn't even decluttering because I was suspicious and wanted to find something. He seriously has lots of useless shit. Secondly, he was a perfect saint boyfriend/husband. Literally, no one could have guessed that he would do this. He was so loyal, and he always talked about how he only had eyes for me and he doesn't want to be with anyone else. He gave me a lot of gifts and never said no to something that I wanted to buy. So anyway, he tried very hard to explain this doesn't count as cheating, even though he said that if I did it, he wouldn't have forgiven me. Even though He's been such a loudmouth about how cheating is the worst. Trust is all that's important. Cheaters deserve the worst, blah, blah, blah. He revealed to me that he has a corn addiction all of this time, and he watches corn specifically when we've had a fight and when he's mad at me, so he does it privately to spite me. He said it's my fault for making him mad and fighting with him. He also assumed that I fantasize about other guys too, which, FYI, I absolutely do not and never did since we were together. He's all that I cared about and wanted. He told me he regrets marrying me and wonders what it would have been like marrying my friends. Ha! My whole entire life was built around this man. I never thought something like this would ever happen to me. But here we are. The guys saying this is normal. I wish your wives found out. I know it's AI because it literally has a text saying so on the picture. And yeah, he confessed to doing it himself. Not someone else sent him and he saved it. And he's not in any group chats where guys share this for fun. I mean, you can tell when something's AI. It's not that hard. And second, sorry, but this is why you don't get... No, okay. If you're married, if you're 22 and you're married, this isn't supposed to be shade. But I just have to say, I don't think you should get married before your brain is fully developed. I don't. And for men, this is later. This comes later. Like, yeah, he's 25, but I feel like 25 in men's brains is not the same as 25 as a female. You know what I mean? And oh my God, I can't, I'm sorry. You've only known him for 2 years. I don't know. This is just my personal opinion, okay? No hate, no hate, no shade to anyone who is married and married quickly, but this is just my opinion, and I think that statistics play a big part. And honestly, like, I would follow statistics over my own emotions. Like, because if I didn't, I'd probably be married a few years ago, honestly. But, like, I would much rather, like, wait and not rush to get married. If I really know that I truly love this person and we both know that we want to be together, I don't really see the point in rushing things. I don't. If you're both like, yes, we are going to get married at some point, I don't really see why you would rush it, because I just feel like rushing it makes it end in either a terrible way or quickly. And I just have to again mention this girl is 22 years old. When I was 22, I might as well have been 15 years old. I was a child. I literally just graduated college, didn't know who I was. I don't even think I knew who I was till not even last year, 7 months ago. And I'm still trying to figure it out too. I'm 26 years old. Like, I'm still really young. And obviously everyone's in different developmental parts of their lives and different stages of their lives. But I just think that it needs to stop being so normalized to rush into something so serious when something like this can happen. And obviously you don't want to live your life thinking like, well, it could be terrible, it could end terribly, something really bad could happen. He could put photos of your friends in an AI and make them into corn stars. But I love saying corn. Like, corn is just so much more fun, because whenever I post on TikTok, corn, people are like, some people are genuinely confused, like, what do you mean corn? And then some people are like, oh my God, why are you saying corn? And they get so mad, and I'm just like, sorry, corn. I'm addicted to corn. Corn on the cob. But, sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to blame you. Obviously, it's not your fault. You know, you did what you thought was right at the time. But it's just like, this is why I think what I think, and I think how I think. And this is just really sad. Also, I always say this, but porn is just the root of all evil to me. Like, I just think it's so bad for people's brains. It's just so bad, and there's multiple studies that prove that. Some people are saying, he said he regrets marrying you. It's time to walk, hun. You're 22. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Throw the whole man away. Just before running fast, you gotta protect yourself. Find a lawyer, open a new bank account only on your name, and transfer all your money and half couple money on. Find all the papers, contracts. I don't think you can do that. When you're getting divorced, I feel like they they will pull your bank statements, girl. Like, they will get forensic accountants. Is that what they're called? I think they're forensic accountants or something. And they will pull your bank statements. And they can do that legally. So, I don't know. I would just talk to a divorce lawyer to be safe. That's just crazy, though. I mean, imagine, like, you... See, that's why. Like, that's literally the prime example. That's how porn fucks you up in your brain. That you think that it's okay to put your wife's friends' photos through an AI generator that takes their clothes off. First of all, you're a pervert. That's actually scary. Second of all, just look up... I mean, I guess it's different. You really want it to be people that you know so you can fantasize about them. But girl, just look up naked pictures, boobies on Google. You will find plenty. Like, I promise you, there's a lot where that came from. And for free, too. For free. Not encouraging, but just saying. You don't need to, like, go through all that AI generation screenshots of your wife's friends. Like, because I'm sure if she would have found just some random girl's boobs that she doesn't know, it would have been like a different conversation. Like, hey, actually don't love that you watch porn or that you look at porn, so could you, work on that for me? But it being her friends is definitely a different situation. I would break up with him as well. So scary and just so concerning. Like, if my boyfriend did that, whew, he wouldn't even see it coming when I threw a brick at his head. Because, ew, that's just disgusting. Because, like, there's never... No. I don't find any of my boyfriend's friends, like, attractive. And I would never want to, like, picture them naked. I don't know what the, like, if it's a phenomenon or something. But, like, my boyfriend's friends just feel like siblings to me. Even though, like, they're not even close. But, I don't know. Let me know if you get what I mean. And if I found out that my boyfriend found any of my friends attractive, I would literally KMS. I would never be able to forget it. I would have nightmares for years on end about that. I have nightmares about everything. Last night, so my boyfriend used to be really big into sports betting. And it was a problem. Like, a very big problem. And it was out of control. So, like, he stopped a while ago. And this is, like, a big thing because financials are, like, the number one reason that people get divorces. Divorces? Yeah. And last night, he bet on the fucking, what is it, MLB World Cup. No, that's soccer. Guys, I can't think of it. Whatever the championship is. And then I was so mad at him. I was so pissed. And I had bad dreams about it. I had bad dreams about me yelling at him for it because I always have bad dreams about everything. But I woke up so mad. I was like, don't even fucking look at me. So yeah, he got my wrath today and I will give him a swift kick in the ass. I can be like I feel like I'm very, very nice and sweet, but then like when you're doing something wrong, when you do something wrong, I will show you a side of me that you've never seen. And that's not even like really that crazy, but I can just be like very straightforward and very like blunt. Like, you're dumb as fuck. Why are you doing that? Obviously more complex than that, but like that's kind of just an example. Like, just, I feel no sympathy for you, because it's just stupid decisions and, or not even just stupid decisions, but like being mean. You'll hear from me. And when people are like, oh, just don't say anything back, girl, I'm saying something back. Like, I can't even, I think it was like 3 years ago or something at this it wasn't a Halloween party. It was a New Year's Eve party, and I was in Chicago with my friend and her roommate, and we went to this party, and this girl got really drunk, and she started like freaking out on me for no reason because she was really drunk. That was the reason. And then she turns to my friend's roommate, who like I've known for a few years and I've hung out with a good amount of time, so like I consider her my friend as well. She turns to her and goes like, no teeth, no eyebrows having bitch. Like, she was coming at her. And first of all, this girl is literally so gorgeous. So I don't know. And like the girl that was yelling at us, sorry, but she was not cute at all. And I don't even know what I said because it's so long ago, but I just remember freaking out on her. And my friend was like, no, just don't say anything. I'm like, bitch, you better bet if someone's yelling at someone that I'm with or yelling at me and also saying profanities, I will be having a say and I will be coming back with something even better. I'm sure I said something great, but I can't remember it currently. Okay, but I have to go make dinner because we have to go see a movie really soon, so we're trying to eat before we go to the movies. I really want snacks, but I know I shouldn't. I'm trying to eat healthy lately, but the Gushers at 7-Eleven down the street are calling my name, so I'll let you guys know. Also, a Diet Mountain Dew is also calling my name. If you guys want to join the subreddit, it's linked in the description below. Spotify is also linked in the description below. If you want to follow me on there and you ever feel like listening or watching on there in the future, I would really appreciate it if you gave me a follow on there. And also, please comment. Let me know what you thought about the stories that we read today. I know we only read 2, but the first one was come with a lot of damn updates, girl. She got a lot to say. So yeah, I love you guys so much and I really hope you enjoyed the episode and I'll see you on Friday. Ta-ta.